There is one thing that if you don't have in your business, you actually don't have a business. And it is kind of the whole reason we're doing all of this. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Erin Trafford here, and I know this is a bit of a different setup. So we're gonna start today's video talking about that very thing. That thing is sales. If you don't have sales, you don't have a business. I hate to break it to you, but that's the honest truth. If you don't have sales, you just have a really, really expensive hobby. The question is, what do you do when you have zero sales or you have really low sales? Let's talk about that. The first thing that you want to do when you're feeling like nothing is happening is assess what is happening. So there are a few places that you can go, and this is where I start to get into the difference between sales energetics and sales operations. So some coaches are going to tell you to sit there and meditate and visualize all of the things that you want to have in your business. And that's really important to lock in on what it is you sell, okay? So the first thing you're going to answer is, what do you sell or offer? So I'm going to use the word offer instead of sell, okay? That's the first key question that you need to sit down and really, really ask yourself when things are starting to feel slow. What do you offer? Then you're going to ask yourself, make these little arrows, who do you offer it to, okay? Now, most programs, coaches, and so on are going to stop here. They're going to say, cool, figure out what it is you want to do and who you're going to sell it to. Here's the key piece that you want to keep in mind. This is the next piece of this puzzle, okay? Is what problem do I solve for that person? Okay, so now we have low sales or zero sales. Now we're going back and doing an assessment. What am I offering? Who am I offering it to? And what problem do I solve for them by giving them this offer? There's another layer we're going to add on here that's really, really critical. This is how, if you haven't watched my video where I got a little bit emotional about the 3 checks that I've written to myself, the first check that I used to start my business, the second check that I used to manifest $250,000, and then the third check that I used to manifest $500,000 in sales in my business over a time, I talk about how I had to up level the way that I talk about myself and then the way that I talk about my business. That up level came with the next question. A lot of business programs are going to get you to answer, what do I offer, who do I offer it to, and what is the pain point that I solve with that offer. But here is the next level, is I'm just going to write one word here, actually 2. How big, or another way of saying it, or how complex. How big or how complex? What do I mean by that? Solving bigger problems will get you a bigger paycheck. Solving bigger problems means that this person who you're offering it to has a real challenge. And if you're able to clearly come in and solve it for them in a big or complex way, you are going to be able to increase your sales, because what happens? You will end up solving bigger problems and making more money. So if you solve a really small problem, you're going to be able to sell your service or your offer for a small amount of money, which just changes your business. It doesn't make it bad. It just changes things. It means that you're going to have to do higher volume. But if you solve big problems in complex ways, you probably need to sell fewer things at a higher level. So this is how you start to unpack and synthesize, what do you need to do if you're having low sales? Which one of these questions might not be totally clear for you in your business? There's another layer though that I add on here. This is very much about operational. We're living in our head right now. We're being very rational with how we're examining our business. But there's something else that I do when I'm feeling like my sales just are not rolling in. And actually, I'll be totally transparent with you right now. It's how I'm feeling in my business right now. Things are slow, things are a little stuck, it's a weird time of year, the economy has been weird. So I've really been evaluating, what do I offer? Who do I offer it to? What problem do I solve, and how big or complex the problem is? And you want to know, how do we take all of this and make it be less about being in your head? We want to bring it from our head down into our body. So I'm going to show you another secret thing that does involve the whiteboard. So I'm going to wipe this off and we'll come back. You've now gone through this, like, what am I offering? Who am I solving problems for? How big or complex is the problem? And please don't take it the wrong way. If you're solving small problems still count. It just changes the way that you operate in your business, okay? So what we're gonna look at now is what do I need to make in my business in order for it to make sense to me? Because we do actually have to physicalize that number. Don't make this about, I need this many sales in order to be worthy. This is how many sales would fill me up. So let's just think about this. If you sell something, let's say you're selling like a graphic design offer. Okay, so offer number one is going to be $2,500. Offer two that you sell is, let's call it $6,000. We're not going to get into what's in these offers in this video. We're just going to do this as an example of how to set this goal. So let's say that you want to do $20,000 a month in your business. Your big goal is $20,000 a month, okay? So let's do some simple math on that. You could sell two of these, right? So 2 at 6 would give you 12,000. So I'm just gonna write 12,000. And then you've got about 8,000 left to go. So let's say you sell another, whatever, 4 to 5 of those. 5 of those that would actually get you above your goal. So you'd have this many. Okay, so you're killing your goal at this point. So you have 2 here and you have 4 to 5 here. Okay, and this is going to be a rolling average. So this is your goal. This is what it looks like to hit your goal. Now what do? You know who you offer things to. You've assessed this. You know you're sitting in a slump, but you're like, okay, but now what do I do? Do I do cold outreach? Do I buy ads? I don't have money to buy ads. Nothing's really working right. And I know that this is how the math is mathing, right? We know, we can see that this is how we get to our goal of the 20K month. We're on to our third whiteboard here. This is some serious strategizing. We're going to use time to our advantage in thinking about this. So we're going to look at our past clients. Now remember, we only need 6 clients a month, and that's also assuming that this isn't a monthly retainer situation. So this is like, I've really simplified this, but this is what we want to get to. So we're going to look for the past clients. We're going to look at our present clients. Now, you're probably saying, well, Erin, I don't have clients yet. Okay, that's okay. So they don't have to be clients. This can just be people in your network that have been there for a long time, people who are new in your network, maybe their social media following, who are currently engaging. And then we want to look at future, okay? So future are like your dream clients, the people who you have not yet brought in, but you're like, oh, it would be awesome if. You can do this in a notebook, you can do this in a Notion board, you can do this on a whiteboard, you can do this with stickies, you can do it wherever you want, but you've got past, present, and future. I want you to have at least, if we're going for 2 + 4 is 6 clients that we're trying to call into our energetic sphere, I want you to have 6 names or specific people in each of these categories, okay? 6 for each. So the past might be, oh, I really liked working with so-and-so, or I had, I used to work with so-and-so, or this person was my neighbor, or whoever it might be, 6 of them. Then I want you to think of the 6 people who you interacted with in the last couple months, okay? So they're your present, 6 people. Then I want you to think of 6 people that fit this future profile, who are 6 people, organizations, brands, potential clients, so on, that fit that future ideal scenario, okay? So by the end, you'll have 3 groups of 6, which will be 18. Here's where the magic happens, okay? And I'm doing this as much for myself as I am for sake of you. So you've got 18 names under each of these. I'm not going to go through the writing them all out, but this is what you now do. Are you ready for this? You're going to write your big goal right in the middle, which is 20,000, 20K. You're going to put a dollar sign. Okay, you're making it really specific and you're going to circle it. This is what you want. Now, much like a database functions, much like a system functions, the universe will function this way too. You need to connect these names to your goal. Okay, so you've written all these names, you've got 18 names. So I'm going to make up names. I'm going to say, we're going to come here and we're going to say organization ABC, okay? And then we're going to say Joey. I don't know. I'm making up names here, okay? Here's Joey. And then we're going to say Jackie, okay? And then we're going to say Sarah. And then we're going to say partner, right? Maybe this is a partnership that you want. Partner XYZ, okay? You're going to do this with all these 18 names. And you're going to connect it. And it's going to look like this crazy big thing. And then you're going to do this thing where you acknowledge that increasing the sales in your business also means increasing your capacity to receive beautiful things. Money is energy. Money is energy. So we are going to go and draw energy to our goal by drawing it around these people whose energy we want to tap. It doesn't mean that you're asking all 18 of these people to become your clients, but what you're doing is you are physicalizing your intention to turn that connective tissue into abundance made manifest. And it's a really simple and fun exercise. So if you have fun Sharpies or like a whiteboard like I do, you are going to actually draw hearts around them. Okay? You know, like in middle school, when you would do this with your locker, you're going to draw hearts. You're going to end up with a big energetic list of where you want sales to be in your business. And then you're going to close the book and you're going to step away. This is how you operationalize the mind, the rational, who do I serve? What do I do? What problems do I solve? How big or complex are the problems that I'm solving? With what you know to be true is that your next sale is likely connected to your past, your present, and your future. And all you need to do is be specific and connect the energetic dots. And your business will transform. I guarantee if you do this exercise with regularity, your business will transform. I cannot guarantee that you're going to hit that goal tomorrow. I cannot guarantee that organization ABC, Jackie, Sarah, Joey, and partner XYZ are going to materialize the way that you think they're going to materialize. But what I can guarantee is that the act of doing this is going to change the way you're thinking about your zero-sum sales right now. So I hope this was helpful. If it was, please make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell on my channel. And as always, drop comments and questions in the question box below. All the information regarding any of this, how to work with me, how to get in touch with me, is obviously in the description box. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.